The little local industry that I'm involved in, I was out there and I was checking out a business, and he doesn't have enough work to supply me full time, and it would be just right up my alley. But the guy likes me, that in some future situation where he takes on more welding jobs, what he does is he does landing gear, and where I did before was exhaust systems, and by the way, I went and picked up all my tools finally after all this time. I was dragging my feet. I didn't want to do that. So I thought maybe they might call me back. But I guess it's better in the long run. But the other shoe has dropped. That's done. It's pretty much looking like I'm not going back. So that was another thing. But I've worked for a small business, and I can see where an individual, is basically the backbone of the company, and I have to say that. But he wouldn't be able to get anything done without his workers. There's a captain of a ship. There's all these guys like Magellan. And you fall into this myth of the individual, and you go, look at Magellan, he did it on his own and all that. No, he did it. There's all these faceless, nameless people that were part of his crew. That did the work. He couldn't have got anywhere by himself. Even Isaac Newton had said, and this is the thing, the more, I got to give credit to the people that acknowledge it and don't say, oh, it was just me. I did it all myself. And they're liars. Isaac Newton said, I stood on the shoulders of giants. He wasn't there taking all the credit. Anyway. But you know what? Hey, my hat's off to you, libertarian individualist types that believe that they shouldn't pay taxes and all that. Then we have like a third world country. Can you imagine a future world where there are almost no governments or very weak governments all the way around the world, and it's in the hands of the idea of the men, the captains of industry? So it would be, the world would be like this giant corporation, and the people, or corporate heads deciding what's going to happen. The people would have no say in it. Corporations aren't democracies. Corporations, they're pretty much like Toyota with their recalls. And you go, oh, the free market people are always like, oh, well, the consumer, can control the company by buying, not buying, or by buying. But look what Toyota did. It's looking like they knew something was wrong and was hiding it. Until the government says, look, what's going on? Because these people, there's something going on. There's an outside regulatory thing, and it's not for profit. It's not a privately funded group. It's part of like, the traffic safety or whatever, the industry standards. And to me, it just seems so obvious. So that's why I get so tired, and I'm you know what? And I guess it's obvious to the people that disagree with me that I'm an idiot, that I have no brain, How could obviously, I must not think about these things at all. Where's that Sunday paper? I'm done. I'm done talking about that. I'm fed up. Where's that Sunday? Ooh, crotch shot. Where's that Sunday paper? Oh, here it is. Then the Tiger Woods thing. Who cares? I don't care about Tiger Woods. Let's kind of joke around with Riley. He had like this double entendre or whatever. Tiger Woods can't control his Woody. I said the problem with Tiger Woods is not that he can't control his Woody. It's that he can't control his penis. And he said, no shit. That's what I meant by Woody. Like, I'm just joshing you. Oh. Yeah, and here's to Cyber9 Router, who still talks about me. Oh, boy. I'm trying to be a good person. You can't please everybody. You can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. Who was that? That was Ricky Nelson, right? Garden party. I went to the garden party. They all knew my name. Doing shoes, but I didn't look the same. I know I just ruined that song. Oh, look, Sicily then and now. Talk about the beginnings of civilization. Now, that's what government did. A city government and a militaristic type government, but it was still a government. I get said that these people, and they're all younger than me, I was brought up to believe that government fails. I said, well, who put the man on the moon? What about the Manhattan Project that detonated the first atomic bomb? Not that I'm happy about it, but we beat the Germans, better us than them. Who did that? That wasn't the private sector. Could you imagine like an entire space program like ruled by the private sector, or the atom bomb was in the hands of a corporation with the government, the people not having any say at all? And I know we don't have enough say, but we do have some. If we all stood up and said we need to cut military spending, maybe it could happen if enough of us believed it. There's a world consensus that there should be less, nuclear weapons, I think. What other examples? I mean, it sounds like something out of a James Bond thing where you have the richest man in the world, doing that next step, to take over the entire planet. We don't want it in the hands. There goes James Bond to save the day, a government representative. Evil Dr. No, or Dr. Evil. Come on, it's always in our literature, it's always in our stories. The idea that government fails. So imagine, and the idea of privatizing everything. In the Iraq War, privatizing the transportation of food, black water, privatizing the security, turned to these crazy sex parties where there's no oversight. It's a disaster. They privatized the construction of showers for our own men and killed our own men because they were electrocuted in the showers. Oh, yay, private sector. No, things need oversight. Things need regulation. I don't know. It's like there's this fantasy land of the private sector alone, and just get government out of our way and let them do whatever they want. And if you let them do that, they'll pollute our rivers. We'll have all genetically modified food that we don't really know what it does to us in the long run. And then they claim we're the only ones that question government. Come on, before you, the ones that really questioned government were the hippies, the leftists, and mom and pop middle America, the fine upstanding, young Republicans, despised the hippies. They were the first ones to say, don't trust Big Brother. Because, the government was doing very, very bad things. But at least with the government, the people have some say. Yeah, I don't see anything real good in here. Art and books, the hospice sessions. Oh, that sounds sad. Oh, I forgot to tell you about my teacup. I did a little bit of this is my first art tea. Well, it's not a teacup, it's my coffee mug, but I'm serving tea in it. My first art mug that I ever bought. This is my very first one. And it's a Van, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Van Dogen. And I researched it on the internet. I never really learned much about him, but he's a Dutch painter. And he was part of this turn of the century, 1920s, because this is like a flapper. What's kind of cool, she shows just a little bit of nipple there. His portraits are all racy, He called himself, it was part of this Fauve movement, the Beasts or something. Anyway, I'm rambling. Why does anybody watch Fez Night? Who cares? I'm just trying to do my best. Just trying to... I got a private message from Zach Moulton asking me if there was going to be a Fez Night. My biggest competitor! No, I love you, Zach. Cheers.